And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, my name is Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Monopoly Junior Electronic Banking. So what this game does is it gets rid of the paper money out of Monopoly. It makes it as a kid's game, and you're using cards to track your cash too. Which every time I talk about this, people are like, oh, you should have money, don't get rid of cards. You're right, because your kids will probably never use a credit card in their life. And why would we want to teach them such things when they're a young child? But I digress. This game is using the credit cards to do that, and it's a Monopoly game where you go around the board and collect properties. There are some differences than the Monopoly that you may know and love and / hate, whatever it is. Let's take a look. In this game, you get a card for your character that will give you a lovely story about who your character is, the toy boat. You will have your character piece here on go, and you'll get a pile of ownership tokens of your character. But most importantly, you will get a credit card that matches your character. Each of these cards is differentiated by a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, binary notches on the side here. You're also going to be playing with a device here. This device is the calculator and credit card machine for the game. You will hold this green button down for 3 seconds to restart and set up a new game. If you ever want to know how much money you have, you just plug in your card. It tells me I'm player 1 and I have 18. Easy enough. On your turn, you will roll the dice. You will move your pieces that many spots. Here I landed on the bakery. I want to buy this property. The bakery costs 1 money. So I put this in here. I will press, when I buy a property, I'll just press that costs 1. And then I press money and it's done. I now have 17 on my card. If someone else lands on that same property, then that person will pay me the rent for that property. So they'll stick this one in. They will pay me 1. They'll press this button to show that it goes to me. I then put my card in, and it automatically adds the 1 to my total. Once you own both properties and someone lands on it, if you own both of the same color, it will cost you 2. And I just got 20. Okay. Now, when you own a property, you'll put one of your tokens here to show that you own those properties. If you land on chance, you'll draw a chance card. Here's a get out of jail free card. Otherwise, the only way to go to jail is a card or go to jail, and it costs you 1 to get out of jail. Sometimes move forward 1 space or take another chance card. Sometimes they'll say things like collect 2 money from the bank or pay 2 money from the bank or advance to an orange or green space. If one's available, get it for free. Otherwise, pay rent to that owner. There's also cards that say give it to somebody else, and that person on the next turn can go to any free space and buy it, or you can buy a property from another player. And that's basically it. If you pass go, that's pretty easy. If you pass or land on go, you just put your card in, press the go button, and it automatically adds 2 to your score. If somebody at any point runs out of money. So let's say here. So now green is down to 0. So I put it in there. Green has no money. I press 1. They have to pay it. That ends the game. It then shows you who wins. So number 1 has $20. So number 1 is the winner of the game. If there's 2 winners, it will show you both of them, and then they have to add up their properties, and whoever has the highest property value is the winner. So these pieces are kind of nice here. You know, you use them as ownership pieces to put them on the board, and I don't mind those. I do not like these chance cards. They're very, very, very bad quality with corners. They're going to bend. They're super thin. They're almost paper thin. But the playing pieces are nice, and most importantly, these credit cards are nice. The whole machinery piece here where you insert everything is fine, although it will take you a while to get used to what exactly do you put, which button do you press when. Fortunately, there's a quick guide on the back of the rule book, which I have to use a lot of times to remember what pieces to put in what. The single die you roll is just an ordinary die. The pictures are fun, like ice cream parlor and bakery. You know, these are things that kids want to buy. A swimming pool, go-karts, toy shop, pet shop, and Park Place and Boardwalk. For some reason, these are still named Park Place and Boardwalk. But whatever, they still look fun to go to. Components for this game are okay. Alright, so it's a cute kind of theme. It's a very simple game, and it will work for kids, and it's okay, and I don't think I will keep it. Why? Well, first of all, I don't like the die rolling mechanism. Now, I'm not a big fan of roll and move games to begin with, but the simple fact is in Monopoly, the rules kind of spread out pretty well. If I roll a 12 and I get way ahead of you, that's fine. You'll probably pick up some properties on the way in. But in this game, there's a distinct fourth player disadvantage. The first three people will land on properties. Let's say someone rolls a 1, and then someone rolls a 2, and someone rolls a 4. Well, unless I roll a 5 or 6, on the very first turn, I'm going to land on someone else's property, and I might fall behind. With one die, it's very easy to stay behind. Yes, they put those cards in the deck to give you a property, but it can be disappointing for kids if they don't own many properties as the game goes by. Not a huge deal, but you know, it's still Monopoly. It's still roll the die, see what happens. You don't really make any choices in this game. That's my biggest problem. You literally, if you land on a property, you buy it. You land on someone else's, you pay them. You land on chance, you do what it says. The only thing is learning this credit card machine. And I just want to be clear, I don't have a problem with the credit card machine. That's fine. I think it's interesting. It's a little wonky to work, but it's not too bad. My problem is the kids just sit there and roll the die and see what happens. There's no, oh, I'll trade this with this person, or I'll make a deal, or whatever. I mean, I have a lot of problems with regular Monopoly. I've done a video on why I hate Monopoly. But in this one, it's okay as an experience, but it doesn't really teach the kids anything other than how to watch a machine count money for you. I cannot really recommend it on that regard. There has to be something more beyond it. I don't mind games being quote-unquote dumbed down for kids, but you should have a choice on your turn of what to do. I guess you have a choice of whether you want to pay to get out. No, I don't know. No, kids maybe can't handle games adults do, but kids aren't morons either. And we should be teaching them to make decisions as time goes by. At the beginning, I kind of laughed at people who said that we shouldn't use a credit card, because I think we should teach kids the proper ways to use cards and money and things like that. But we should also teach them how to make choices, and if a game gives you no choice, I cannot recommend it. Dice Tower Judgment? It's okay, but there are way better kids games.